Hi and welcome. Today I'll be making Dasheen Bhaji. Here I have 2 bundles or 3 pounds of Dasheen Bhaji. I've gone ahead and separated the stems from the leaves, and at this point we're just cleaning the stems. There is a thin peel on the stem which I like to remove. Some people don't. It's totally up to you and your preference. Just a little tip, you may want to rub your fingers with some lime or lemon juice before you clean these stems. They tend to leave a brown stain on the tip of your fingers. Next, I'm just going through the leaves, removing the stems from the leaves. Sometimes there's a thin membrane on the back of the leaves I like to peel off. Just sorting through the leaves. This is the process now that I'm doing. Making sure it looks good, and then I'm just stacking it in a pile. I just prefer to stack it in a pile. It's easier for me. And then I just chop all the leaves together. And one tip I learned a long while ago, there is a little peak on the tip of the leaf right there. I just like nipping it off. Here I have all the stems that's already chopped up. And here I have all the leaves that's already chopped. The list of ingredients used to cook this is listed below. So here I'm sauteing 1 large onion in a 1/4 cup of vegetable or canola oil that's been heated. You want to saute these onions for about a minute or two until they're transparent in color. I have my stove here on medium heat, and I'm just adding to this 3 pimento peppers and half of a Scotch bonnet pepper. The Scotch bonnet pepper, I omitted the seed because the seed is what really contains the heat. The pimento pepper, I use the seeds and all. It's just a flavoring pepper. You want to use a heavy pot to cook this in. Some type of Dutch oven would be preferred, and you just cook this, let it do its thing for 2 to 3 minutes until it's translucent, transparent in color. Next, here I'm gonna add in 3 tablespoons of crushed or minced garlic and 1 teaspoon of green seasoning. I'm gonna stir this. You have to keep stirring this, else it's gonna start sticking to the bottom of the pot. Again, if your heat is too high, adjust the heat. I have mine now down to medium low, and I'm just letting these onion, peppers, garlic, green seasoning fry. I want it to fry properly. I have to keep turning it, else it's going to start sticking on the bottom of this pot. Also, you can also use a non-stick Dutch oven. That's going to be perfect to cook this in. But I'm just using this heavy Dutch oven pot I have. So once it's been frying down, guys, it looks really good. You want to have your Dasheen Bhaji close that pan. Make sure your bhaji has already been washed for 2 times, and you squeeze a little lemon or lime juice on there. Next up, I'm gonna add the Dasheen Bhaji here. You can see I'm not gonna add all of it at once. It's gonna be hard to turn all of this in the pot at the same time. So I'm gonna add about half of the bhaji, which is about 1.5 pounds, in the pot and give it a turn. I'm gonna incorporate all the onions, the garlic, all the spices on the bottom. I'm gonna try to turn it in before adding the rest of the Dasheen Bhaji on top of this. So after adding all the Dasheen Bhaji to the pot, you want to cover the pot and let it simmer on medium low. So after 10 minutes, this is what it's going to look like. It haven't reduced a lot. Leave it on medium low and it's going to cook. Another 10 minutes, 20 minutes into cooking, this is what the bhaji is going to look like. It has softened up a bit, it has reduced a lot. Not too much though. The stems are still a bit hard, very hard, I must say. It hasn't cooked through as yet. So we're just gonna turn it, make sure it's evenly distributed throughout. Now this next ingredient I'm gonna add the liquid to cook this bhaji is coconut milk. It's totally optional. You don't have to add coconut milk. I know most people don't. You can just add hot or boiling water at this stage here. I personally like adding the coconut milk. It gives it a nice Caribbean flavor to this dish. Again, you don't have to add the coconut milk. It's totally up to you. You can add boiling water to this, or you can add vegetable stock to this. At this point, you want to turn your heat up to medium high because you don't want the bhaji just sitting there in the liquid doing nothing. You want to bring this up to a pretty good simmer. It's not boiling as yet. It's just going to be like on a high simmer. You want to cover the pot and continue let this cook. So after about 5 minutes, you want to add 2 teaspoons of salt to this. So 40 minutes into cooking, this is what the bhaji is going to look like. And at this stage in the cooking is where you want to start breaking it down, getting it to the texture you want. So you will have a lot of mashing to do. Here I'm using a potato masher to keep mashing this. It's a constant mashing and turning, mashing and turning. And after about 50 minutes, this is what it's going to look like. It has broken down a lot. However, it is still, there is a lot of liquid in here that has to dry out. While this is drying out, you want to constantly keep mashing this to get a nice smooth texture. It all depends on the texture you want. Some people like little chunks in there. I personally don't. I like a very smooth bhaji. I mustn't see any stems. I mustn't see any leaves. So I'll be mashing this a lot, turning with the spoon, mashing, turning, and that is just a process until you have the desired consistency you would like. So this is starting to really come together nice, looks good. It's dried down a lot, it's smooth, there are no more chunks in there. So I think at this point is where I'm gonna turn the heat off and my bhaji is finished. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave your comments down below. I'm gonna leave a list of ingredients in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.